AITA for asking my ex-husband to split the cost of groceries. Update. One question asked was what did he do with the money from the HELOC? I don't know what he did with it, but it was gone within 6 months after our divorce. Why was he evicted? He had a disagreement with the apartment manager due to security issues in his building and things not being fixed timely. He withheld rent for a month in an attempt to get them to address his complaints. Before reading the many comments of how I am being a doormat, I knew I was being one. And agree with you. Lastly, I have told him he has 30 days to find another place. My husband and I divorced about 17 months ago. He was evicted from his apartment and needed a place to stay. I agreed to let him move back into my spare bedroom because I didn't want to see him homeless. When determining how much he should pay, I charged half the average utilities and $100 for the room. After he moved in, I was cooking dinners, which I didn't mind doing since I was cooking for myself anyway. Fast forward to the next time I needed to grocery shop. I asked him to pitch in on groceries. He offered to increase his rent by $50 per month. Now I only buy the necessities and buy as much generic as I can. I added up the ingredients for 3 cheap meals and split it in half. Then I added the cost for TP, telling him that $50 per month could get him maybe 6 meals and TP and laundry soap. He fought me about it and thinks the rent I charge him should cover groceries also. One of the reasons I agreed to let him move in was because I am working 2 jobs and struggling to pay the bills. AITA for asking him to split the cost of groceries. FYI, most roommates split rent and utilities. I had to get an equity loan during the divorce to pay him what was owed to him for me keeping the house, so my mortgage went from $480 per month to $740. If we were splitting everything, he would have to pay $570 per month and he only pays $300. He fought me about it and thinks the rent I charge him should cover groceries also. Why? I've never heard of rent including food unless it was a student or something like that. If he has all the money from you buying him out, why was he evicted? It seems like he is completely taking advantage of you and pushing for more. You need to get rid of them and get in a tenant who'll pay market rate. You are going to make yourself homeless while you're helping him not be homeless. NTA. Go on Craigslist. Find out how much rooms rent for in your area. That's what you should be getting. Plus 1/2 utilities. Plus they buy their own damn groceries. Plus you split the chores of cooking and cleaning common areas. Get that parasite out of your house and get yourself a roommate. YTA for letting him back into your life. You divorced this man just to keep supporting him in every sense of the way. He's taking advantage of you. Good grief. You divorced him and he's still using you. YTA to yourself. YTA for letting him take advantage of you. Kick him to the curb and get a proper roommate. This whole situation is EU and I'm sorry. Confounded face. Really though, you divorced him. Ended up in a worse financial situation. And he's still giving you grief. I mean, you could post an online ad for a roomie and get a better deal than this guy. Try and help him find somewhere else to stay. But get him out of your house for sure, hooray. NTA. How did this guy get evicted from his apartment already when just 17 months ago you had to refinance your mortgage and get a second mortgage on your house so you could buy him out and stay in the house? Your mortgage payment has gone up each month and he ran through all his month in 17 months or else did something else that resulted in him getting evicted. You're not his mom and you divorced him and took out an additional loan so you have to work 2 jobs. But now he's back in the house and you're cooking for him and doing the grocery shopping while he is fighting you. doesn't want to contribute more for groceries and isn't paying you anything to cook or chauffeur him, let alone deal with the risk of having him back under your roof. You have a good heart, but you got out of the marriage for reasons and you are getting taken advantage of and badgered. If you'd like to continue to live in your house with higher expenses, you need an exit strategy or transition plan to find a good roommate with whom you can split the bills, including rent, mortgage, utilities, and each handle your own grocery bills, or negotiate how you will share responsibilities for cooking and cleaning, etc., until you can find someone to move in who can pay and is a good fit for you as a roommate. Let your ex know he'll need to increase what he's paying for rent, utilities, and he'll need to either buy his own groceries or split grocery costs with you and chip in extra for the labor of cooking, unless he'll be doing all the cleaning when you cook and that's okay with you. Wind this down. Up. It's not sustainable and you deserve and have worked hard to get your own life back again. Don't let him put you in a place where you are negotiating against yourself and subsidizing his living situation after you had to take on much more expense each month in order to buy him out. It's absurd. Good luck. Up. Your NTA. Tell him to go price average rent costs in your community and find a better deal. He won't find one. $300 a month is incredibly cheap. Even $300 a week wouldn't cover the cost of groceries. I can see why his royal, entitled honest is your ex. NTA. But for the sake of conversation, was he manipulative during the marriage? Nowhere does rent include food. He's not a puppy and he's not your charity case. You're divorced. If you're not in at least the same position as before you let him move in, he needs to pay more. I'd argue you should be in a better position with a roommate. You're NTA, but you are a gullible doormat. Geez. He should be paying 50% of everything and bending over backwards to thank you for allowing his ungrateful ass to stay at your place. There's a reason he's an ex. It's time to kick him to the curb. Again. NTA. Start the process to formally evict him. Full stop. He is being ridiculous. NTA. But honestly, I would just cook for myself and not for him. He's not your responsibility. NTA. But you would be if you don't kick him out. You're cooking and cleaning up after your ex-husband. He's being cheap and is a freeloader. He needs to go live his life without your help. He's not your responsibility. The reason he asked you is so you'd fall back into being his maid and cook. Show him the door and save your money. Sounds like you'd have more if you weren't there. He obviously thinks you're still his wife. And you're certainly playing the part cooking for him in SHT. This is really toxic codependency on his part especially. Get him out of your house. How are you supposed to grow and get out of the situation you're in if he's still hanging around in the background like a bad smell? He's gotta go up. Tell him he has a week to vacate as you're getting a real flatmate. This is messy AF. There is a reason you divorced him and now you've got the worst of both worlds. NTA. Accept to yourself for even contemplating living with him again. What in the codependent nonsense is this? Kick him out before he has tenants' rights and becomes a squatter. Make sure he only gets mail at a P.O. box and not your house. YTA. To yourself. You had to take out a HELOC to pay for him to get out of your life once. Now you feel sorry for him and are questioning whether a 50-50 split is fair. Kick him out. Make a budget. Get a decent roommate. Learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat them. NTA. He should be paying enough to cover the rent and his half of the expenses. He's even getting a free cook. I hope he's doing his share of the cleanup and housework. Seems like it cost you a lot to get rid of him. Now he's back expecting you to support him. Tell him to find a new place to live. You are divorced for a reason. This is an unhealthy situation for you and he is taking advantage of you. I have lived with roommates and we always bought our own groceries and cooked our own meals. NTA, but your ex definitely is.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.